Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be a live trade video where I try to capture some of my trades as they play out live. A couple quick clarifications. Number one, I am day trading futures. If you don't know what futures are, I'll put a link down below in the description area to a totally free 4-part series that'll walk you through futures, how they work in the market. But as one little thing to maybe get you interested, especially if you're struggling and annoyed by that pattern day trading rule, there is zero pattern day trading rule within futures, so you can make as many day trades as you want every single day. Second, I am trading futures through a prop firm. What is a prop firm? How does a prop firm work? Which prop firm am I using? All that can be answered up the link that you see at the top of the screen. I'll also put it down below in the description area. But in a nutshell, a prop firm is a way for you to put very little of your money at risk, and then you have a whole lot of upside potential. So like I said, if that sounds like of any interest to you, then be sure to check out that link. So I will go ahead and pause the screen recording software for now, and I'll be back as soon as I find a potential trade. All right, I'm looking to play a potential bounce here on this. See if it wants to come up a bit more in. Blue line is my entry out there for about an $800 scalp. Now I was already up a little over, I think I was at 1,025. So that was $800 on that scalp. The nice thing about futures is it's open pretty much all the time. It's closed on Saturdays, and then it opens up on Sunday at 6 p.m. So that trade that you saw there was actually from the day of the recording. It came from, quote unquote, yesterday evening. Wow, what a bounce. Well, in hindsight, I suppose I should have went for more than $800. I mean, I'm not going to complain about 800, but quite the turnaround there. Good old-fashioned hammer candle. All right, well, I'll keep a close eye on it. Let's see if I can get something else. All right, kind of a risky play here as there's going to be news coming out. So I'm just going with one. This could go either very well or backfire on me. But even if it backfires, I have quite a bit of wiggle room on the day. I don't like how it's... Okay, I would have been in. Things are about to get very jumpy here in just a moment, so we'll watch. You'll be able to tell when the news is released. There it is. Would I have been okay? I was going for up here. Yep, I would have been fine. Well, it is what it is. That's all right. So I'll continue to keep a closer eye on things, but yeah, I didn't quite like how it was. I didn't want to necessarily get filled right before the news. And again, in hindsight, my plan would have went off without a hitch, no problems at all. But that's why trading's hard, because I'm sitting here and saying that I was right, and it's true. I was right. It went up after the news, nice smooth movement. But notice I didn't make any money from it because, unfortunately, trading is there's more to trading than making broad statements. So broadly speaking, I was correct, but the fine-tuned details, such as not exactly liking the approach and didn't really feel comfortable with getting filled at that moment in time, caused me to be right again from a broad statement standpoint, but not make any money from the trade, even though I was, again, right from the broad statement. So just be very careful as a trader, especially if you're new and you're kind of just sitting back and making broad statements and then concluding, oh yeah, I was right, I would have made money. No, that's not always how it works. Just because you were right doesn't mean that you made money. In this situation, I didn't make any money. In other situations, I've been there before too, where I was right, but then you get stopped out right before it goes in your favor, and then, hey, I was right, broadly speaking, but you end up losing money. But all right, I will pause, and we'll see if I can find another trade. I'm going to risk about $100 here, try to get short there if it wants to come back down. A little over $100 risk on this one, which again, I got plenty of wiggle room. Move that up just a tad bit more. Because yes, I'm going against the trend. I'm in. So I'm well aware of all that. But like I said, we'll see if this wants to come back down. But if I'm wrong, like I said, it'll be right around $100 of risk, which is I'm perfectly fine risking. So my first profit target right there. Put another one down there in case it wants to So I like the setup. Great candle here. Now it's just a question of, does this want to pull back a bit more? If it doesn't, then I'll be out $100 and so be it. So we'll see if blue line is my, my stop is up here, that green line. Blue line is my entry price. We'll see if it wants to, if this thing comes back below the blue line, we're going to be looking at a really nice looking candle from the bearish side of things. But like I said, I full well understand I am going against kind of the general trend. Looking like maybe it wants to take a breath here. Well, that's what I'm trying to play. But again, I know my risk ahead of time, and I know that even if I'm wrong, not a big deal. I'll still be plenty green. Oh, not looking. There we go, and I'm out. Okay, so it ended up being about $120 with slippage. So, oh well, I tried. Did not quite work out on that one. Maybe I'll take one more. But I'm up nicely on the day, so I don't want to. I don't want to bleed away my gains with a million paper cuts, but maybe I'll try to take one more. But wow, that's why. Did not care at all about that candle, which was, like I said, I really like that candle, but it is what it is. I'll pause. All right, once again, going to risk right around $100, a little bit more than 100. Yeah, I'm trying to catch the top here, so maybe not the wisest of moves. But again, the general context, I have plenty of wiggle room on the day. So if I was, barely green on the day, or if I was red on the day, would I necessarily be trying to do this? Probably not. But these are the ones where if you do time it right, you can get a great payoff for what's being risked. So that's why I am trying. But again, you have to keep in mind the overall context, and the overall context of this is right there. Gotta cancel that out as it continues to push higher. My risk profile now changes a little bit too much. Why don't you just buy? I mean, I guess I could just try to buy, but that really seems like a chase right now. Seems like a total FOMO. But yeah, in hindsight, you're right. I should have, instead of going short down around here, should have went long. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. I don't know about you. I can only speak for myself. But in my shoulda, coulda, woulda account, I'm worth billions of dollars. Potentially even the richest man on earth. All right, I'm going to try if it wants to come down to that area right there. Okay, in. Now let's see if we can get this to continue on down. Need more green than this for it to make sense. Great looking candle here. Again, a nice candle here. Just really a question of, is this some sort of top where it needs to pull back? Again, I'm not looking for a crash or anything like that. Or is this thing just going to keep beast moding? Maybe I just got suckered in again. If anything, the lesson here is probably why you don't want to try to catch tops. And if you do, make sure you got plenty of green wiggle room on the day. All right, got to hop out there. All right, another losing trade. So maybe the results of trying to catch the top. Maybe that'll be the title of this video. And it could come back down, but you just, at some point, you got to draw your line in the sand and be like, all right, that's got to be it. But there we go. So started off, well, my previous trade that was not on camera, put me up over 1,000. Then we had the $800 trade, and then boom, trying to catch the top, 2 losing trades in a row. But it is what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and call. I want to try again because, again, if this comes back down, that'd be looking very, very attractive. But and this may be the one that finally kind of cracks it to the downside. But like I said, just can't quite Not gonna risk it anymore at this point. Before I go, I do want to personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering. So if you enjoyed what you saw here, you want to learn more about the tool, how I use charts and such to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free class. Just make sure that you have a right framework. A lot of people show up and they think they're doing things that make sense, and I can understand why they think that, but the things they're doing actually don't make sense. So just make sure you have the right guardrails and framework in place. This class will be very, very valuable to you. So go down in the description area to see the link, or you can just go to claytrader.com/live and see when the next live class actually is. So thanks for hanging out. As always, if you enjoy these videos, make sure you hit that like button. And also, I have been live streaming, so if you're interested in seeing me trade live, ask me questions, just hang out during the day, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so that you are made aware of whenever I do go live. So thanks for watching. Take care. Have a good one.